So let's go ahead and get started. This course for me is always going to be something that I look forward to. I truly think that lighting is what makes the magic in front of the camera. And I'm also excited because I happen to know our masterclass instructor very well. We went to college together at Delaware State University, and we have supported each other over the years through our careers as a producer, as a chief lighting technician. I'm always excited to see what Justin is doing. So our special guest is Justin Dickson. He graduated, as I said, from Delaware State University. After graduation, Justin moved to Los Angeles to pursue a career in film and quickly began working on major films such as Straight Outta Compton, The Perfect Match, and many more. He's also now the chief lighting technician for shows like FX Snowfall and HBOs Insecure. Justin has a craft-focused masterclass for us today that will cover lighting, and we'll talk about lighting without a budget. So Justin, thank you for joining us. Again, I'm excited to see what you have to offer and what you were going to talk to us about today. Let's go ahead and start off with you telling me how you got involved in film and just take us through your career path.
My career path started with, I think, going to film school. For me, I noticed that everybody wanted to direct, produce, all those cameramen, all those type of things, and I saw no one was doing the lighting. That was something that was something I struggled with. So when I came to California, I said that was the thing that I was going to focus on, the thing that I was weak at, that was lighting. Then I met the man, Larry Mole Parker, who designed the Batman light. That's his famous thing, and he ended up teaching me my craft. Then I started meeting different cinematographers like Tommy Maddox Upshaw, who shot Empire, last season of Empire, Snowfall, second unit Straight Outta Compton. And we've been just working together ever since then.
I know, with knowing you and knowing Tommy, you guys have been connected like glue through your whole career. Yeah. Talk about how you know, important it is to build relationships, because you were very fortunate to start off with where you started. You know, you came out with a bang doing films like Straight Outta Compton. How do you make that happen?
You don't say no to other jobs. That's one of the advices I got. So yes, everybody saw Straight Outta Compton, but we were doing freebie music videos the week before. You know, we were doing all kinds of different things before. And there's different, you know, I work for about 13, 14 different cinematographers. Relationships are very important. Knowing their families, where they come from, what they like, what they don't like, different tastes, all this different type of things. And just a natural friendship. We go play golf, we go hang out at Marina Del Rey, we do anything. Those things are important because as artists, we're sharing different ideas, different opinions, different things that influence how we approach scenes and light scenes.
And I think that's important. Me being a producer myself, I know, you know, working with different department heads and individuals in those departments, it is about having that relationship, because you kind of now know what the person likes and you can start to think how they think. And that way you cut out all of the extra, you know, things that are in the way of you all actually achieving what the goal is of that particular project. So I like to hear that. You know, now tell us about just what lighting, just overall what it is and the importance of lighting to film. As I said, for me, I think it's one of the key things to really tell the story.
I think lighting is, like you said, very important. Why? Because it sets the mood. You know, why are we scared of Jason and Freddie and all those different type of people? Why were we scared of going in the basement? Because we opened up the door and it was just dark. There was just nothing there, you know, and lighting creates a mood. It affects how we feel. Think about when it's raining outside and it's an overcast day. Think about when it's sunny outside and you're at the beach. It just affects your mood, you know. It definitely, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to invoke emotions and feelings supported by the story when I approach lighting.
And so I know one of the topics that we'll go ahead and cover with lighting to start off, you have a few topics you're going to share with us, but number one is color and how important that is to lighting as well as the setting. So Casey, if you want to pull up the presentation, we can start with topic number 1 on color. Sneak peek on everything else you're gonna learn.
Sneak peek back. There's 4 things that you should know about lighting: direction of lighting, quality, quantity, and color. However you want to start in that order when you approach a palette, approach a canvas. This one is just one color. This is just monotone. Okay, this is just, everything is tungsten. Where this was a show called The Comedy Get Down back in 2016. This was actually shot at the Forum where the Lakers used to play. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar used to play. And this, what we want to hear, the high-end restaurant, monochromatic, one color, and this is just warmth. You can see the Christmas lights on the trees, you can see the down lights on the curtains, and you can see this toppy light above as if there's something there. And this is just one color, because this is what the atmosphere would be in like a restaurant. It wouldn't be red, it wouldn't be blue, it wouldn't be, unless we went to like a club or something like this. We wanted this to be kind of like a high-end restaurant. So that's why we approached this the way that we did.
So you kept it very practical, in other
kept
words.
it very practical. And like trees and stuff like that, we just added some Christmas lights. It's not it's not December 25th. It's not, you know, it's just something that brings that alive. You know, we could have did up lights, we could have did everything like that, but this is what we wanted to go with in this area, and it supported the story as well. So I'm not just throwing up lights. I'm also paying attention to the story of where they are, where they're at, and what they're supposed to be.
So one question I have is that you, as the chief lighting director, you read the script, you go through the script, and you understand the characters, the locations, and the mood that you're trying to achieve, right?
Yeah. So just think of something like The Matrix, right? You look at the movie Matrix, and it has like a green cast, right? What I mean by cast, I'm not talking about the actors. I'm talking about the hue of the color is green. There's a green tint to the Matrix, right? When you watch it. Green means birth, new birth, okay? So when you go to Neo, what is his story? What's his character? Being born again. He's learning about life. He's understanding something new. He's getting enlightened by this information. And so they went with the green cast to kind of support that. It's subconscious, but that's what that green does. It subconsciously does that. And that's something that you're reading during the script. That's something that I'm reading and talking with the cinematographer about, sending pictures. You know, I even go as far as sending music. What should that feel like? What should this be like? And they'll describe and tell me, and then I'll come up with certain motivations to send them, and we go back and forth until we're dialed in. Then when we go to the location, look at this, that presents another set of problems. It's like, how do we achieve what we talked about with the complications that we had and different things like that?
Of the actual location. And we're gonna definitely cover that as well. We can now move on to your next slide, and using 2 contrasting colors.
Okay, perfect. This was for a TV show called I Am the Night. This was directed by Patty Jenkins, Carl Franklin, who did like Hurricane, Devil in a Blue Dress, and Victoria Mahoney, who was the first Black woman who directed like a Star Wars franchise. And Patty is known for like Wonder Woman. This is 2 contrasting colors. You see like a cyan, and then you see like downlights, warmth. So you have warmth and cool contrasting, and that's just a normal contrasting color. And so the phone booth, all this stuff is real. You know, where lights would be coming from. These are just downlights that they were like just goosenecks back over in the 1970s or whatever the case may be. And this is just what this is. This is that cast of coolness to kind of feel like an eerie feeling. Something's going on that's not right. And then you have the warmth that's like in its regular environment, the telephone pole, the lamp post in the back, the downlights, the warmth on the car. And so this just could, contrasting colors that.
Right. And it definitely, it pulls you in, like it just automatically is captivating because, you know, seeing it's a different feeling from the last slide where you said it just feels practical. You're in a, you know, upscale restaurant, but now, like you said, now I'm starting to feel a mood. Something is about to go down or there is some type of feeling happening. So let's go on to the third one, which is a triad of colors. I love this picture.
Okay, so same movie, or excuse me, same TV show. And so, as you can see, the color palette, setting that eerie feeling, was chosen by the cinematographer to use cyan light. And then you see lights from this building, they're down lights. Now, so you have this cool color that's doing this whole entire wash, and then you have these down lights that's a different, cool, what they would call Kelvin temperature. So, and then you have it contrast by the warmth. So I'm playing with two different hues of cool light for contrasting colors. And then I'm going completely on the opposite side of the spectrum. And I'm going with a warm color from like the headlights from the cars and different things like that. And so that's just, you have three colors.
So I was gonna ask, you know, you mentioned a number of things that I think anybody listening should write down some notes, like cyan lighting and Kelvin temperature, right? So what can people research, you know, as far as, even if they don't have access to all of these tools to do lighting like that, but to learn and to understand colors and to understand contrast, you know, where should they go to find that information?
Okay, so what I do is I look up color wheels. Okay. I study color. I actually learned color from Bob Ross, painter that came on Saturdays with the big fro.
Yes.
I learned a lot of color with him. I learned a lot of color from Tommy Maddox Upshaw, who's really, really good at color. I learned a lot of color from watching like Belly, and because I was kind of like when I saw it on like Skin Tones and different things like that.
Belly is one of my favorite films because of the lighting. I didn't want to interrupt, but I just wanted to tell you that.
Christian Epps, who's another Gaffer who did a lot of early Spike Lee movies, went and worked. He did a lot of music videos. New Yorker. Did Black is what is it? King is Black. Black is King.
Black is King. Yeah.
Black is King. So you may want to. I can give you his information if you want to reach out to him as well. But I'm looking. I use coloring books. I have a program on my iPad where I use color, where I color. Color temperature is something, because that falls in the color of light, and color temperature is a scale from warmth to cool, and you go from warmth, and it takes you from what fire, the color temperature of fire, 2000 Kelvin, 3000 Kelvin, 4000 fluorescent lights, 4000 Kelvin, to daylight, 65. It is the because light is invisible, right? You don't see light, just, you can capture that with a temperature, and that will tell you 5,000 degrees, and then you can match your lights to that. You can contrast your lights to that. But mostly, like I said, I would Google. A lot of this stuff is so in the back of my mind. I forgot the definition of it, and you're just in go mode. But something that will help you with like colors and color, just Google this stuff.
Right, you know, and
just
I
Google
think that's important. Even if people that are watching this now, is one, study color wheels and learn about color and how they work together, and two, look up and Google light temperature, because like you said, now it gives you a measurement. You're able to measure the lighting and match it that way. So let's go into the next shot, which is a quad of colors. You're dealing with 4 colors now.
I love this. This was a comedy get down as well, and this is one of my favorite things because you're seeing different. I mean, so basically the story is, it's like Kings of Comedy, right? They're going around to different cities, and basically they are putting on comedy shows in different and I think we were like in Cleveland or something, or supposed to be in Cleveland, but we were in like LA. And so basically this was pre-existing, and the cinematographer, Tommy Maddox, was like, turn on that big, you know, source to the left. And then we started playing around with the colors and adding gels to these source fours that are in the back that are kind of, and here I am playing with hue again, like purple, pink, there's a cyan, and there's, I actually used the reflection off the ground to create the fourth color, which is kind of like a white on the ground. But so you see cyan, you see the warmth, you see the different hues of the purple or pink, whatever you want to call it. And then you see a little bit of cyan back there to create shapes. And then you see I used the reflection to create the fourth color, which was just completely white. And that's understanding the zone system, which that's another piece that you should.
We have to do like a full day with you to really get into your brain. But I think,
but it's like driving. You know, you're not sitting up there telling yourself, "Oh, there's a stop sign coming. I need," you know, it's you automatically hit the brakes. You know when to hit the brakes. You know, and your timing and different things like that. So it's like it's stuff. I'm just going, so I apologize if I'm not giving you guys.
No, this is all good because you know, it's like you said, it's just a part of what you naturally do, but that's because you practice at what you do. And I like what you even said earlier. It's like you don't say no to any project. Right before Straight Outta Compton, you guys were working on a free music video. So that is the way, you know, especially for our Ghetto Film School students, to continue to grow and learn and just try different things, whether it's a free project, you know, you can now apply some of these skills to it, do one color, do a quad of colors and see how it affects, you know, the image on the screen. So let's go into topic number 2, and that is, you know, it's not what you like, it's not what you like, it's what you don't like that's important to understand. And so we can go into the slide for this one and just tell us what this is about.
This is okay. So the best light sometimes is the one that you turn off. A lot of people think that lighting is I have to see everything and all this other kind of stuff. That's not necessarily true. That's called illumination. Lighting is adding mood, adding style, adding, you know, that feel to it. Here, this is Snowfall. This is a scene where Danson's next door neighbor, his love interest, is starting to veer off and test the water with drugs and different things like that. And this has everything really. I mean, quality of light, direction of light. She has just a little bit on her. He has nothing. There's just so much. I mean, the boogeyman could come from out of the, you know,
right.
It's just dark and moody, and they're in a crack house and they're smoking crack and different things like that. And at the same time, a party's going on, right? So that's why we were able to introduce the colors and different things like that, because there's a party going on. She meets this guy. He's insignificant. What about dancing? You're thinking about all these type of things when you're describing this thing. And so we wanted to keep this dark and moody and just light him up, because that's what this scene is about. Her now seeing crack, seeing this guy doing it, seeing what he gets from doing crack. Should she do it or not?
Right. And what I love about it is when you look really closely to the image, you see, now I didn't even see this episode, but you see the purple on his arm. So that must represent what the party is in the background. And then you're pulled in by the lighter, you know, so you use the lighter to help light that moment.
And it's going to practical lighting, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have to have much, you know, using just a lighter to light his face. We shoot with the camera that's very sensitive. It's a game plan, right? It's a game plan. What you're shooting on, what format you're shooting on. I'm shooting on film right now, but this is digital, with a sensitive sensor, so we can remain have detail and different things like that and shoot people with lighting lighters and different things like that. A lot of stuff I want to do practical. A lot of stuff I don't want to light, to be quite honest with you. I don't like a lot of lights. This show is a very, very big show, and I think I only have 4 carts of lights.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's like, and that's like, one of them is like my set cart, and I have this big old truck that has hardly anything in it, because as you grow, as you get better, you start to say, hey, I need to be here at 2 p.m. in order to do this scene, or I need to be here at 4 p.m. to do this scene. No lights, no nothing, no whatever the case may be. We're just gonna let the sun do what it do.
Right, and that's important as we'll go through your presentation about understanding planning, you know, and what that means. Me being a producer and just seeing, working with the Grip and Electric team is as far as, you know, these different carts and how long it takes, and just prepping and the time that it takes to unload those carts and to load them back up. So, you know, you try to simplify as much as you can, because it takes so much time and manpower. You have to add new crew. The more carts you have, the more lighting you have. So, you know, that's very important to understand going into different budgets and different projects. But I do want people to write down one of the key things that you said and research it too. As you continue to work with lighting, understanding the different types of cameras, the different sensors, you know, if you're shooting on 4K and 5K, all those different details, to know what you can work with in a scene.
How different lenses react to lights. I mean, you may not be in a position to test, but I get to test, you know.
Right. And I mean, in a lot of cases, you can go to rental houses and build a relationship with them and test, because they like for people to experience, you know, their new equipment or different lenses that they have. Like in DC area, we have a, you know, Capital Camera, and they do kind of let you come in and experience the lenses and know what you want to rent and how it works with lighting. So I think that's important. We can go on to topic number 3, which is lighting and production design working together. Very important. So tell us about what that means.
Okay, okay, perfect. This is great right here. Okay, so production designer, I can't remember her name, amazing woman. Just very talented, had this idea of just this drawing of what you see what's happening to the left of this design. And basically, she came to me and said, how do I make this happen? Okay, now go back. Okay, so this is a 300 watt light. It comes with barn doors and all these type of things. And so I'm actually at the lighting shop, and I go to one of the lighting shop people who you never see, never get to meet. His name is Sal. And Sal, I told Sal what I needed to do. And Sal began to take off the, if you look at the other little 300, he starts to take off that little, it's called the Fresnel lens. And he takes that off, and then this is a perfect fit. But I knew it would fit because I did the measurements, because the production designer gave me this dish and said, this is what she wants. And so I said, okay, we can make this happen, different things like that. Now, fast forward. Go back. Yeah. So, and that's when we created, go forward one more time. Go forward. Yeah, okay, hold that. This guy, Flip, he's one of my best friends. He's a gaffer. He taught me a lot. And that's what we do. We work for each other and different things like that. But you see what the design did, right? In this frame to the frame, right? And basically the light is just shining and hitting these dishes, and then they're glowing. And then what I had on the video, I had them pulsating, or I could flash them, or I could do whatever I wanted to do, because they wanted a stadium type of feel. And this is for MLS soccer. So one day you're doing a music video, the other day you're doing a TV show, the other day you're doing a commercial for MLS soccer. But designing and bringing this to life with the production designer and going over with her what her vision is, and saying, yeah, I can make that happen, and building lighting into into the design is what I really love to do, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I love it. And you know, it's funny because I saw this picture prior to now, and I would have never guessed that that's what it was, because I was trying to understand the light by itself on the table, the first image that we had, and where that came in. But now seeing it, I see you use multiple 300-watt lightings in that whole, I guess what you call it, like a rig. Is that a lighting rig?
Yeah, yeah. So like it's like, I think we had 4 vertical, I think they were like 8 feet tall or 10 feet tall. Whatever the measurements that we had to get, and that's another thing, getting the measurements of how the circumference of the dishes in order how many we can fit on vertical steel pipes was a challenge too. And then they're all straight, and then all this different things. But this is how we did it, you know. And like I said, if you go back, this is how we did it.
Right. No, and I mean, someone that may have a lower budget could be creative with other types of lights, you know, and create the design similar to what you said earlier in the restaurant, where you used just Christmas lighting. But you might be able to do some type of effect similar to this image that you have here as a finished product, but with a different type and size lighting. You might be able to create your own grid, you know, and just be creative.
You can use Starbucks cups. You can use there's one thing that I couldn't send you, a project that I'm working on that I could not send you, but I used the mirrors. And all I did was I put the lighting on the ceiling. And what I did was I just took mirrors, a whole bunch of mirrors, and I positioned them in such a way that they were reflecting from the ceiling. So it looks like you're seeing this light, but you're actually seeing a reflecting light off the ceiling, and it's broken up. And so I'm using anything I could possibly think of. You can use lemons and light lemons and stuff where they become something in the background because of the color. And it's so many things you can do. So many things.
Right, and that's one of the things that I love, because one of the things you just said too with lighting is one day you could be on a film set, the next day you're on a commercial set, the next day you're on a music video, and you're able to just kind of use your creativity and skills in so many different ways in those different environments and settings. So let's talk next about soft light and what that means and how you use it, and walk us through some of these images as well.
Okay, so this is a good example right here. This is Snowfall. We're about on the 30th floor in downtown Los Angeles. If we were on the 2nd or 3rd floor, I'll probably have a condor outside pushing light in. But this is very, very, this is a challenging situation because this window faces east. And the sun is coming up. We're in downtown LA. You're getting mostly soft light because you have buildings that are blocking it. So this big old light right here that you guys see is 2 feet by 8 feet wide. And basically at this point in time, this sun, and you see these little 2 black lights that are creating these sun shafts. But this big 2 by 8 box is to keep the ambient soft light consistent that was there that morning, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So this is probably around 3 p.m. and we got to this location around 7 a.m. So I still have to make this room feel like it's 7 a.m. in the morning. And it's about 3 p.m. and the sun has shifted and all that other kind of stuff, and I don't have that much control. I didn't take a picture of where the scene is. The scene is obviously to the right of me. And so this was a challenging situation of doing soft light. Could you mind flipping through? Yeah, hold this right quick. Okay, so I'll get to Jared in a little bit because I love this dude. This right here is an actress. This actress right here. This is actually outside downtown LA on a parking structure. And in the background, you're seeing what they call bokeh lights. And this is light reacting to the lens.
And you said it's called bokeh lights?
Yeah, these are called bokehs. These are called bokehs because of the shapes around, the shapes, the circular shapes around her, and that's created by the lens and it being out of focus, and it creates a beautiful backdrop, right? You're just actually just seeing downtown LA in the back of her, but we wanted to make it feel like soft light that was coming from the city that was lighting her. And I had a battery operated light, which I don't think I sent you in order to achieve this, but we're just talking about quality of light. And then Jared, so I work for Jared. I'll fly with Jared to light him. He likes to interview people like Al Gore and Elon Musk and different things like that. So I'll go with Jared to light him and light these different people. And Jared likes to be lit from his left side. And this is a big, soft, directionless source, soft, he looks good. This is what he likes. And I think also too, I had a note like, this was his demand too, that we light him from this direction. And the rest, he was just like, just make me look good. And it's not hard to make this dude look good. So it was a big soft source, and I just love this guy. He's really a good man to work for.
So have you, with your experience of working over time with different talents and actors, I do know that a lot of times, like you said, actors with demands, because they've been doing it for so long, they know what looks best on them. Have you ever experienced like a challenge, and how do you work around that when you're dealing with talent?
Yeah,
I guess that means yes.
Yeah, you do. You get a lot of people who don't know you. There's one big famous lady that I used to light and work for, the same thing I do with Jared. I did a couple of her music videos. You have to, you understand what they want, understand it, and give them what they want. And then you go ahead and you put your swag on it. You put your thing on it, what you do. But you're just, at the end of the day, they're my coworker. They're not big talent. They're not, he's not Jared Leto. He's my coworker. And so we're working together. I was doing a shoot with Uma Thurman one time, and she told me, she said, Justin, I have to be at my best in order for you to be at your best, and you have to be at your best in order for me to be at my best. And so with that being said, it's you work with him. I'm working with him. He knows what he likes. He knows what he looks good in. I'm not going to fight Jared Leto, an Oscar-winning actor, on how to light him.
Right. So it's like, even though you have all this knowledge and expertise, it's about listening to your team and your coworkers, whether it is the talent, whether it's your DP or the producer, the director. It's like working together and really setting aside that ego of what you know, but achieving what is going to make everybody work well together, right?
And I'm so glad you brought that up, kid. You know me you know me very well. That's one of the things you gotta let go, is your ego, making a film. And I was definitely a person who had a huge ego. You having someone tell you how to do your job, it's like me telling Jared how to do his job. But people know what, and you're like I said, you're working with them. You don't want to fight them. And then, so one thing too, that top picture of Jared is a lot more menacing than the one that's down.
Right.
And that's just has to do with how a person turns their face. So you don't need to do a whole lot. It's the same lighting. It's just that he's turned a little bit on the top one than he is in the back. And that's all created by like field light and stuff like that. But we can go over a 3-point lighting but Yeah, that's it. Ego is one thing that you have to check when making a film, because there's like 75 other people you're collaborating with.
Right. It's really a team effort. I do want to go back just 2 slides because I had a thought that I want, the listeners and viewers to make sure that they write down and understand as they go through their lighting, training. But you talked about east and where the sun lands and time of day. And when you're prepping and planning, your shoot schedule, you have to be prepared for adjustments all day throughout the day because, like you say, you start at 7 a.m. and then it's 3 p.m., but you still have to make it look like 7 a.m. Can you talk about just understanding the direction of where the sun is and how that impacts what you do, and learning about east, west, and how someone could apply that information to their lighting?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Can you see this?
Let's see a little bit.
You see it? No?
Yes.
Okay, so
Casey, if you take down the screen share and we put Justin on, then we could see it. Let's see, pull it up now, Justin. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so what this is called is a
lift it up. Yeah.
This is a sun tracker, and basically what this does is this gives me I get to track the sun. I can go to a location, I can put it up, and I can tell you where the sun is going to be December 19th, 2020. I can tell you where that's going to be. I can tell you the time it's going to rise. I can tell you all that other kind of stuff. And so I basically take this to all of my shows and jobs that I do. And every time that I get to a location where we prepare, I want to find out where the sun is. I want to find out, when do I lose the sun? I need to know east, west. I didn't send you this picture. I should have. I was doing this one. I was doing a show in Hawaii, and it was important. We had to park the car and all this other kind of stuff facing east because it was a morning shot, and the sun will come up and it will backlight them and it'll make it so beautiful and different things like that. It was a red car and all this other kind of stuff. But it was the fact that in LA, it's very easy to see where's north, south, east, west. It's very easy. Hollywood sign is north. Anything other than that is east, west, and south. So anyways, when I get to Hawaii, you're turned around, you don't know what's what, and whatever the case may be. So I take this device out and I look and I say, the sun is going to come up over there. We park the car right here. The sun would be beautiful backlight. And I think what we got there was even better. It was actually like very clouded. The sun was coming through a piece of cloud as if like God was sipping water from the ocean through a clear straw. And it was like the ray of light. It was like the rays of light. And I was expecting the sun. And I was so upset that I didn't get the sun. But it was like a ray of light that kind of was around this Mustang. Anyways, that's so important, because when you talk about doing things practical and doing things cheap and making good images, there is a cinematographer by the name of Emmanuel Lubezki. They call him Chivo. Chivo did Gravity. He did Tree of Life. He's done Hollow. He's done just big movies. And if you look at a movie called Tree of Life, they did it out of a Sprinter van. Or this is what I'm being told, that they did it out of a Sprinter van. It's all natural light. It's pretty much all natural light. And it's just knowing where this stuff is. And, does the sun come in this direction? Does it? And you can do a lot. And so I can't talk about the movie that I'm on now, but I would, later when this is over, I want to come back, because we're doing a lot of that. Where's the sun?
You're working with a lot of natural lighting. Yeah, and that leads us into, I think my camera's falling. Here we go. Okay, that leads us into just preparation on screen and what it takes. I want to bring the slides back up to your topic number 5, and just preparing for being on screen. It's a couple of slides forward. and what that means. So you can go to the next one. This is, you know, may he rest in peace, but John Singleton, and you had such an opportunity to work with him. Talk a little bit about what the process is for preparing to go on screen. I mean, you just said one about, you know, understanding where the sun is.
So this was season 3 of Snowfall. We have not shot anything as of yet. We have the script, and this is where we shoot the project scenes. And so John's telling us his vision, what he wants, you know, how things would have been back in the 80s and crack and all that other kind of stuff. And so Dan Attias was the director of this episode, but John is there for obviously the texture, making sure we keep the texture and different things like that. So he's kind of telling everybody what's going on. Now, there's a man behind him that's very mean, but he's very, very nice. He's locations. So he goes in, he lets everybody know, or we go there and I say, I need access to this. I need to turn this light off in the apartment complex. I let him know. Behind that, there's another guy who's very, very nice in a white shirt. That guy's transportation. He is there to see where the action takes place in order to where to park the trucks and different things like that. Everybody's here, construction, painters, people who do just plants and trees, moving those around and hiding things and different things like that. Everybody's there listening to the vision to see what is going on. You can go to the next slide as well. Okay, so here was the last episode of season 3. And this is what it looks like. Every department head there, production design, art director, locations, rigging, electric. You think of AD staff, everybody's there, and we're going over the vision with the director. From that, production designer then tells us what, because this is a bare room. These are bare places that when you go watch these episodes, they're now dressed with stuff. And so I'm getting all this information while we're there, what we're going to see, what's going to happen, where a lamp is going to be, where the desk is going to be, where I'm getting all the details. And then after I get those details, me and the cinematographer, we look, talk about things, his idea, what we want to do, how we want to approach it. And I'm trying to think, cinematographer will let you know the vision for that. And this is where everything happens. Now, you see this kid right here? He has like gray pants on and like some Adidas. He has an LA hat on. He's writing on his iPad. That's my rigging gaffer. That's Jerry Wilson Sr. He has Jerry Wilson Jr. Hire people that are better than you. This man has done Avatar, Thor, Euphoria. You think of it, this man has done it. And so I hire people who are better than me. I hire people who have seen it all, who have done it all. I'm working with people right now who have 25 years of experience, and I'm the new guy on the set. That's who you want to work with, because those are the people who have seen a lot and have done a lot. So this is what happens in the preparation stage. You want to go to the next one? I know we.
And you're as strong as your team, because
you're strong as your team.
You're as strong as your team, and it's extremely important, especially with grip and electric, because what you do is not safe all the time, you know, and you have to have people around you that do understand what they're doing. A lot of times for safety purposes, you know, you're dealing with rigging things, like you said, the ceiling could be, you know, 40 feet high or something really high, or whatever you're working with on the back of cars, and you have to have the right team to get that done.
Absolutely. And this is just something that I just want to show you guys real quick. You guys see this one. Go to the next one as well, Casey, if you don't mind, my friend. Okay, this is actually the same building, Snowfall. This is the big scene. It never made the cut. Never made the cut. This is not in, so this is the outside view. This is my notes that I will hand off to my rigging gaffer of what's taking place. And this is just using Google Earth. That's all this is. Typing up the address, and this is all what it is. And so I'm writing this down for layman terms in order to send to my rigging gaffer, and he implements this plan so that when we come and arrive on the scene, this stuff is already up and going, working, different things like that, and it minimizes the time, lighting, while we have actors who are being paid $100,000 a minute.
So let me ask you this, about how many people, I know every project is different. Tell us on a large project, how many people you have. And then, like I said, some of our viewers may be working with a very small team. What's important if you're working with a small team to make sure you have in place? And then just tell us, because we're curious, of how many people you've had on your team before in large projects.
So this project right here, I'm leading a crew of probably about 20, 24 people. I'm giving directions to, because I'm the head of the lighting department. So that means I'm also, I am to let the grips know as well, and the rigging grips. So they normally mirror our team, or we mirror theirs. And so I normally have a team of about, depending on this thing, I probably had about, on first unit, I probably had about 8 or 9 electrics. And then we had probably about 8 or 9 electrics putting in just the electric and the lights. And then you had the grips and different things like that. That I have like condors and scissor lifts and different things out here. So that day I'll probably leading just in the lighting department 26. But you have to understand too, I also have influence over wardrobe, makeup, different hair, things like that. You know, if someone's looks sweaty, or if they're wearing a white top or a red top or something, I say, I don't think that's gonna work. I also do have the power to say to the cinematographer, I think we should switch this out. I think we should do that.
Right, right. And
Excuse me, on a lower scale, I did the same building with the John Legend music video, and I only had 3 people.
Oh, we could pull that picture up real quick. Casey, I think we have the picture of John Legend, and you had 3 people. So who were those 3 people, and like what were their roles, so that if someone is trying to build a team, who are they supposed to have with them?
Electrics. They were just guys from my crew. And this was a very hard shoot because it was during COVID, right? And so this is the John Legend music video we did for the BET Awards. This is what the inside of this looks like, okay? And since then, I've been back to this location about 45 different times. And you're lighting this location 45 different times and trying to be put this John Legend music, and this falls in the category of what you don't like. You know, this was a music video during COVID. And like I said, I had like 2 or 3 people running all over this building. You guys saw it's massive. That was the day. I mean, it was, but at the same time, this is only one light. I don't have 50, 60 lights going on out here. What you see, that one light coming with the rays of light, that's one light. Everything else, I put trash bags all over these windows. Trash bags, that's right, trash bags. All over these windows, and kept certain pockets of light. Like if you look to the right of this piano, this is just like trash bags falling down and ripped in half to let a little bit of light come in and different things like that. So we were just being creative with trash bags. Like, we're not using stuff that you guys don't have access to. You know, it's what's fast, what's easy, what's cheap, because what I want to do is save Kia money. If I can save, but it's good though, because here's the thing, how it works. If I can make Kia look good, Kia will make me look good. And guess what? Kia is going to want to call me every single shoot she has. Because she's like, this dude makes me look good. We save money. I get a good product. I keep working. I got to keep this crew going. And that's how normally crews form, because it's like you have shorthands with people. It's like, I'm coming, if Kia were to say, just I'm in LA, I'm doing a music video, $1,000 is my budget for this music video, whatever the case may be. I'm going to try to come in at $750, $500. If I can do it for free, I'm going to try to do it for free, just so that she builds up the clientele. She gets her, because that's how it works. That's how this business works. I'm making somebody else look good. Somebody else is making me look good.
Right, and you keep building. You keep building together.
Keep building.
You keep it in. So the last topic that we're going to cover, we can bring up the other slide again, but it's going to be specialty lighting, effects, and green screen and driving, scenes.
Yeah, this is little stuff that I was interesting little stuff. And like I said, this is not everything. I'm sorry, guys. I've been working. I apologize. So this is just a driving scene down Sunset Boulevard. This is a tow. These tows come with generators on there where I can plug in my lights. These are sky panels. Highly recommend. A workhorse in the industry. They can do everything, anything. Paparazzi lights, flashes, flash, any color temperature up to 10,000. This is called the RE Sky Panel. When you get a chance, just go to relighting.com and you can look up all their different things. To the right is Snowfall. You can't really see it, but this is also a tow, and these are wireless lights that are hooked onto the car from the top, because we're driving down, we're driving in South Central LA, and so we're using those lights as if they are street lamps, and I can program them off my phone. I'm actually controlling these lights off my phone. I think I sent like majority of my crew home. This was like the last shot of the night. Sound is up on there. Just everybody's up on this tow. First AD, I'm up on there, and I'm just controlling the lights, making it feel like they're zipping through the streets of LA.
And you know what's amazing? I ran into you in LA. I think it was last year in Paramount.
Yeah.
At that convention, and I would definitely recommend for anyone that is, looking to learn more about lighting, even if you're a producer or director, whatever you are, the more you understand about each department, the better. But to go to these different conventions that they have, if you can, try to get out to Las Vegas or Los Angeles, where they have these different technology, and because I was able to see some of the new cool lighting that's coming out, and all these creative things that they're doing with lighting to minimize the amount of electricity that you're using, the amount of space that you're using, but still get that quality of light. And like you said, adding apps to your phone to be able to control these lighting, this lighting now. And so it's constantly growing and changing, and there's so many new things that come out on an annual basis as far as the lighting equipment is concerned.
Absolutely. You want to go some more? Just a little bit? No, we probably don't have much time. Very simple. This is an airplane parked, and just shining a light through the window, and to the right is what you see.
Right.
That's it. And it's on a big old crane, so I can have it go up and down and move like the sun and all that other kind of stuff.
All right. And we can go to the next one too, which is your green screen.
Green screen. Yeah, so this is a car driving scene. This was at Warner Brothers, and basically sky panel, which you saw on that tow that I showed you, same light. And what I did here was I programmed a cloud effect, so it felt like they were driving, lighting the green screen, let the special effects people composite their image in the background. I know what that image looks like, and I'm just matching it with the lights inside the studio.
And from a production cost, would you say that in some cases people do it with a green screen to save money? Which in your experience, which is better? To actually drive the car?
You know what? To be totally honest with you, I don't know, to be honest with you, Key. I'll leave those things up to the producer. But I would say we had more control, and it was a lot of our scheduling with this as well that had a lot to do with doing this.
Through a green screen.
Doing green. I mean, this was massive though. Like, I don't have a picture, but I mean, this was this white overhead above you was like 40 by 40 feet. Like this is massive. I wish I
Right.
would
And
have.
I see all the other lights on the side of the car too. So
Yeah, yeah, and it's on both sides, and this was a massive deal. So Kia, I'll have to probably get back to you about that.
yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just curious because I mean I've been on set where we've done it. This particular project I was working on, I was an associate producer where we did the green screen option. It was because we couldn't shut down the PCH highway at the time.
Okay, there you go.
So
There you
yeah,
go.
like you say, you have more control. so so now we could go to the last screen that we have as far as the show that you did with LeBron James and using, you know, lights in the design again.
Yeah. So this was working from a blank canvas. We walked in, and once again, like I said, for me, we were stuck, to be quite honest with you, because the ceilings were high. We were just stuck. And I remember they're sitting up there talking about, these are the producers and everybody, and the two guys that are inside the square to the right, Josh, I was doing another show at the same time. So I was getting off of work at like 7 a.m. in the morning. I would come over here and I would do this show called More Than an Athlete with LeBron. And so I had to have somebody else rig this. So basically the show was about their team and how they go about business and how they branded their different things like that. And so for me, the original design was to create a crown for King James. And as you can see in the drawing, that's what I kind of designed. And I started thinking to myself, well, let's add some emerald and some red and I actually went to the Bible and was like, what are some like crown colors, like sapphire and all these different type of things. And then I said, you know what? Then it would just be all about LeBron James. Well, this documentary is not just about King James. It's about his other people too, his staff. So I started taking away lights that would not complete this crown. So if you go to the next image, did I give you so it was to design a crown. And basically it's LeBron and them, that's not them, but it's basically them just sitting on this couch and watching with a projector in the middle. They're watching some stories and different things like that. So here I went for a design of a crown to represent symbolic for King James. And like I said, starting with a blank canvas and different things like that, that's just the thoughts that come to mind, and themes and different things like that. So I would say study lighting design as well. Lighting design is something you should really, really study. Lighting design, concerts, anything that has, I watch Disney on Ice.
Right.
to think of ways to do things, and to expand what I'm trying to do. I'm doing a 1970s movie right now, based in the 1970s. I have to go study what the 70s looked like.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. Same with Straight Outta Compton. I had never been to it. I was probably like 2 or something like that when NWA was out. I had to go back. I had to go back and look at those music videos of what I could and find the research posters or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I love it. No, and I love this crown. After you explain it, now it is clear what it is. What your direction was as far as the design. And so, it's even me hearing you say that, I'm like, let me go back and look at some other things, because it's very intentional of your design and what you were doing for that. So we could take the graphic down and the image down. I think this was so informative. You covered so many areas. I tried to capture some notes, but I think people can walk away understanding to study colors, to study lighting temperature, to, get the app to understand where the location of the sun is, do your research on a project. If you're doing something from a 1970s or a different time, an era, you understand how lighting was used. Understanding lighting design, like you say, you look at everything and you interpret. And lastly, I mean, you just said you went through the Bible to get inspiration of a crown, you know, so taking stories and understanding how stories and lighting are connected to each other. So I think this was super great. I'm sure we may have a couple of questions from the audience. We've been on now for a little bit over an hour, but let's see if we have a couple of questions from the audience before we wrap this up. Does anybody have any questions? Just let us know, and Casey will pull you up. Okay, so I think you covered so much. I think we're getting so many notes of people saying this was inspirational. You know, I think everybody's now gonna go back and do their research and start to understand what we need. Oh, we may have one question.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to know if you, thank you so much. Do you think it's a good practice to, as a learning project, to replicate a famous scene from a favorite movie and try to match the lighting? Do you think that's a doable and useful project for new filmmakers?
Absolutely. I would say even as far as paintings in film school, we had to pick a model and we had to replicate paintings. And it's very, very, very good to learn. The thing about it is, like, lighting is just think about what's happening in your room right now. You know what I'm saying? What's happening in your kitchen right now? What's happening in your bathroom or the car, or wherever you are. A lot of people send me this stuff to look at. Great, beautiful. All right, but let's start thinking through this. Do you really have all that light on in your room at 12 a.m. At night when you text messaging? No, you're just using your phone. That's all you need. You know what I'm saying? That's what the story is, So my thing is, those practices are really, really good. Look at photography. I try to look at about 500 to about 1,000 pictures a day.
Whew. You're studying constantly, right?
Yeah, a day. And that's just flipping through Instagram. It's not like, okay, let me study. It's just, I'm just looking at it. I'm just looking at it. And what I'm looking for is to see what I like and what I don't like. What I can take and and don't. So I think that's a great thing to do. Danny.
Do you have any specific people that you follow on Instagram, like as far as pictures or any resources? It doesn't have to be Instagram that people can write down and take away.
I follow photographers. I follow production designers, artists. I find, for instance, like I love shoes. So I'll grab color theory or colors from shoes. I'm looking at anything that inspires me because as an artist, I think you'll find inspiration in a lot of things as an artist. Gordon Parks. Look at his photography. I follow Gordon Parks, and you have to understand, Gordon Parks is just in somebody's boxing gym or just in somebody's like living room. He ain't got no lighting setup going on. He's just taking just pictures that naturally come in Big Mama's living room.
Right.
Big Mama, So it's one of those type of things. But I follow everybody. Even in cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Even in cooking, I've studied how people use color to build up an entree. Certain different foods have different nutrients based on their color.
Right. So you're like absorbing all throughout the day. You're taking in lots of information and you're applying it to what you do.
Like, for instance, I'm looking at that couch over your left shoulder. I'm looking at Nina Simone, the red, and I'm looking at the purple for her socks, the ballet. Like, all of that right there is just color. It's just, I'm looking at all that. So when I go and do my film, or if I go and I'm on set, I'm gonna draw inspiration from this talk that we had.
Well, thank you, my little set design. I think we have one more question from Nina. We could pull up Nina and see what you have to say. Hi, Nina.
Thank you all so much. This has been so informative, and I'm taking lots of notes. I was just curious, maybe you covered this at the beginning and I missed it, but I was wondering, Justin, what your relationship to, like if you DP sometimes, or is like leading light your total dream, or what's your relationship to what you're doing now and what you are dreaming of? Yeah.
I shoot second unit sometimes. On Perfect Match, I shot second unit. I shot like the biggest scenes. And Billy Woodruff was directing. Billy Woodruff has done did a lot of music videos, a lot of our Tony Braxton music videos, and early stuff. Anyways, for me, I'm a craftsman. I'll probably end up directing or producing something or developing shows. I chose gaffing because gaffing gets me on set with directors, with producers, with production designers, with art directors, and you really get to learn the craft. I'm not a person who wants to just jump to directing. I want to learn my craft. And like I said, I'm working with Paul Thomas Anderson right now, and what they say about Paul Thomas Anderson is he knows enough to be dangerous. That's what they say about him. He knows enough to be dangerous. And he's dangerous. That man is amazing and talented because he took the time and he studied different crafts, how production design and all this different color theory and texture and all that other kind of stuff. So for me, I'm a craftsman. I know sometimes we want the glory, we want it now, we want that film to come out now, we want it, but sometimes it happens when you're 45, when you're 50, when you're 55, because that's when the life experiences and the study and everything comes together with the perfect film, the perfect cast, with the perfect crew. And next thing you know, you're going up there to receive your Oscar. And I get to say, I Zoomed with her one day. But yeah, but my thing is, like I said, I'm a craftsman. So I'm taking my time and I'm learning my craft. Do I get offered to shoot? Absolutely. I turn it down a lot because, like I said, for me, I want to learn my craft and be A-list. That's just me, though. That's just me. I find importance in learning the craft. But go do it. Like, this is your time. Like, this is actually your time, and you need to put yourself out there. And one thing I would say is, like, don't ever be scared. Everybody's learning. Spielberg said, listen, half the time I don't know what I'm doing. And if Spielberg can say that, that's what we can say. We can say that.
It's a constant learning process. And for me, to hear you say where you're going to be in the future, that was a great question, Nina, because we go back to college days, and I'll never forget the script and the idea that we had back in the day in college that's supposed to take place in New Orleans. We're going to do that one day. I remember that meeting so clearly. So unless we have any other questions, I just want to, thank you, Justin. This was great. I love to just see how enthusiastic you are about your craft and, sharing this information with everyone who help all of us become better at what we do. So again, thank you, Justin. The Ghetto Film School thanks you. AT&T Warner Media thanks you. And everybody, enjoy the rest of your day and go and do some more research on the lighting. All right.
Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, everybody. Let's see here. Hold on. Thank you, Danny.
Oh, we need to take a picture. That's right. Let's see. Hold on. I know some people have their cameras off, but let me get a picture with you, Justin. All right, 1, 2. Hold on, let me fix my hair right there. Okay, look in the camera. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait, I messed that up. Hold on. Are you still there? Hold on, one more time. Okay. Okay. I closed out my whole app. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, got it.
Can you autograph it, print it out, and send it to me?
I sure will.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you, Casey.
Bye, everybody.
And Tamika, see you all. Bye.
Bye-bye.